right, welcome back to the Rise of Her podcast. I'm super excited to be recording again. It's been a hot minute, so I figured the best way to get started for the next era of Rise of Her is just to share, 12 lessons that I've learned over the past 12 months, because it has been a very, very big 12 months and I've learned a lot, and I thought I would share those lessons with you before we get back into having some more guests on the podcast and sharing a bit more about all of the things that I love. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at my phone because this is where I've written everything so I don't lose track of where I'm going, because I do love a good ramble. So we're going to dive straight in because I don't like to yap too much with these kind of episodes. But lesson number 1 is saying no to the wrong clients actually creates a lot of space for the right ones. And this was something that I had to take a lot of time to actually understand, especially when you come from a bit of a scarcity mindset when it comes to clients and being like, oh, I just need to make sure that I get all of the clients that I need. If I take on clients that I love, I know that I can deliver work that they will really enjoy and really love, and then they get the best results as well. So saying no to the wrong clients has helped me so much, and it also really helps them out. So I always keep that at front of mind. Lesson number 2 is that systems are really important and you can create them in a way that works for you. So just because one person says this is how you're supposed to do it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you as well. You can create a system that is going to be perfect for your business and be really mindful of all the people who are involved and not have to be too stressed about it if it works for you. And I think that's one thing that I really had to learn over the past 12 months was not everything is going to work for everyone else. It's just what's going to work best for you. Lesson number 3, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I need to create space to actually be who I am and take care of my energy, take care of me at the core of it, because if I cannot, then I'm not delivering the way that I want to. And that's really important to me, that everybody gets the care and the love and the results and everything that they need. But I can't do that if I'm not taking care of myself first. So lesson number 4, consistency always beats virality. So I think one thing that I've learned over when seeing a lot of accounts was just making sure that everything was consistent and it makes sense for their brand overall. It doesn't really matter if a piece goes viral. It's always really helpful, but it shouldn't be the goal of your content. It needs to make sense for your brand. It needs to make sense for everything that you want to achieve long term, because things going viral is fine, but yeah, you want it to make sense for your brand long term. Lesson number 5 is that your personal brand and your business are connected, regardless of what you think. And so I think for me, now that we're doing a whole rebrand, we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes with Rise Media Group and everything that I'm doing there, which I will share a bit more about soon. I just want everything to make sense for who I am and how I want to show up in the world and how we speak to people and how we deliver our work. It all needs to make sense. And so if my personal brand and my business don't connect with each other, it doesn't make sense. And I think that that's been something that I've really had to learn over the last 12 months. It is the core of who I am, and if it's not being reflected in everything that I do, it doesn't flow really nicely. And I've learned that a very, very difficult way. Lesson number 6 is that done is better than perfect. And again, this is something that I've had to relearn. I spent a lot of time in a bit of a perfectionist mindset where I felt like that was my best way to control as many outcomes as possible, and it just didn't work. I would spend so much time just trying to make things perfect, and they were never going to be perfect. And again, I've had to relearn that it's better just to finish something off, and then you've got a base, you've got a foundation, something that you can improve upon, and you've got some data to work with. So that was a fun one to learn again. Lesson number 7 is that not every single opportunity that looks good on paper makes sense for you. There is always going to be another door, another opportunity. And I think if you can step away from a scarcity mindset of, oh, this is the only one that I'm going to get, you'll be able to move forward a lot quicker and in the right direction, or in the direction that you want to go. Regardless, it's going to be a lesson. You're going to learn something from it. And I think being able to look at it from that perspective of, regardless of if this is where I want to go or not, I will learn something. It will teach me that that is not who I want to be, or that's not where I want to go. And if it's the other, then you're heading in the right direction. So it works either way for me. Lesson number 9 is that being honest and operating from a place of integrity is always going to be a core value for me. It is such a huge part of how I operate. And I think I've never felt like I am who I am and this is how I want things to work as much as I do now. I've never felt so confident in myself, and I think it's from being in positions where I'm like, that is not how I would want to operate at all, and trusting myself a little bit more and knowing that I am coming from a good place and I want people to get the best results that they can. I want to give them as much as I can and love and care in everything that I do. And that is just the core belief for me. And I always thought that that was a weakness that I had, that if I cared as much, or if I was too kind or too nice or too friendly, then people would think I was fake or that I didn't actually care. But I've come to realize, like, that's just who I am. And if I can put my whole heart and soul into something, I'm going to put everything I can into it, and then I'm going to feel great about it. Lesson number 10 is to keep God or whatever you believe in at the center of everything that you do. I think for a really long time, I relied so heavily on myself and what I needed to do in order to control everything around me. But I've come to realize, like, I don't have to operate like that at all. There is a lot of things that are out of my control. And if I just surrender to that and let things be, as long as I remain true to myself and true to what I believe in, then everything will work out the way that it's supposed to. It might not look the way that I want it to, but I always have faith that it's going to work out how it's supposed to. Lesson number 11, and I think this is something that is a bit ongoing for me, is just being true to who you are. Don't allow other people to tell you who you need to be or what kind of person you need to show up as. You should be exactly who you are in the way that you want to be, and if that means being as loud as possible, if that means being as quiet, as reserved, whatever that looks like for you, you should be that, because the world needs more of people who are who they are. Women can sometimes feel like they have to be quieter or they shouldn't be striving for more. I believe that if that's who you are and that's what you want to do, you should absolutely chase it. Like, you only live once, like YOLO. So you should do whatever it is that makes you happy and makes you want to get up in the morning, and it should be exactly who you are at the core of everything. And lesson number 12, and this has been a very big one for me over the past 12 months, is the people around you either make or break you. And as much as you want to believe that the people around you don't make as big an impact as you think, they actually make a huge impact. And it's been a really good reminder for me of remaining true to, and it comes back to this always for me, is like just being who I am and not allowing the people around me to change what that looks like. I know exactly who I want to be, and I know what kind of person I don't want to be, and the people around me have taught me that, and I love that. And there are people who have lifted me up and there are people who have brought me down, and that's so fine. But being aware of that and knowing what it is you're okay with and what you want to be surrounded by is going to keep you moving in the times when you start to fall down, and they're going to lift you back up. And I think that it's really, really important to be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with. I think these I've run through really quickly. I don't know why I've run through them so quickly. I think I'm just like a little bit nervous about coming back into recording again, but knowing that there are so many different things that I have learnt about myself over the past 12 months. This is just 12 of the lessons. Honestly, I could probably talk about this a lot longer, but I think at the core of everything that I've learned, it just be true to who you are and what you believe in, and know what your core values are, and know what kind of person you want to show up as. And if you keep that as your North Star, everything else is going to work out perfectly fine. It's going to work out in the way that you want to. If you're anything like me and you operate from a place of love and care and integrity and honesty, let those be your driving factors. Like, don't let other people make you feel like you need to be anything but that. Yeah, those are just a few core lessons that I've learned. I could probably dive into this a little bit more, but I'm just, really happy to be recording again. I'm excited for what the next season of Rise of Her looks like. There's going to be some pretty exciting things coming up that I have in the works. I just know who I am. I've learned a lot about myself for the past 12 months, as hard as it has been. I know who I want to be. I know who I want to show up as, and I'm going to just be exactly that, and we'll see what happens. So thank you guys so much for listening or watching this podcast episode. I'm so glad that you're here. I hope that you love the podcast. Let me know what your thoughts are, and I will see you in the next one.